Hi there, I am Chris, one of the managers of the Kindness Grant Initiative, and I'm going to be walking through some of the information of how to make the best application you can make for these Kindness Grant Initiative microgrants. So here's our evaluation criteria that all of our back-end jury members use to actually go through and evaluate each of the applications. And I wanted to walk you through these line by line so you can know how to most effectively apply for one of these grants. So taking it from the top, will this grant make a clear, meaningful impact? Really, our question here is, will this $1,000 enable whether it's you, the recipient who is applying, or the beneficiaries, if that is someone separate from you, right? So if there's, I am applying for supporting, local youth, well, the youth would be the beneficiaries, you would be the recipient. Does this enable meaningful acts that wouldn't be possible without it? Applications that are going to perform well here are really those where $1,000 is a larger chunk of the budget, if not the entire budget. So our recommendation, if you have a larger project that you are looking to fund a piece of, we would definitely recommend that you carve out kind of a sub project within the project. So you can say, yes, the entirety is this larger thing, but we're looking for this one specific piece where this $1,000 will go far and create an impact that we could not have without it. So definitely speak to that and the impact you will have. Number two, does this project inspire others and tell a compelling, emotionally resonant story? So really, our goal within this project, why we created the Kindness Grant Initiative in the first place, is to drive more future kindness ripples, as we call them. These are the acts of kindness that inspire more kindness, and so on and so forth. And really, our goal here is to tell an emotionally resonant story, something in the vein of the power of small film to get people inspired and say, hey, I can do kind acts too. I think I can handle something like this. And so, you don't necessarily need a social media presence. If that's something you have, that's great, and we'll work with you on that. You don't even need to, depending on, certain projects, it wouldn't be appropriate to share folks' information or photos or things like that. We will work with you wherever you're at to support you in creating a story with the level of privacy necessary. That being said, it is necessary to have some sort of story. So whether we're pulling quotes or having anonymized photos, we just want to make sure we're able to tell a story that will, again, inspire others to feel like they can make a difference as well. So anything you can speak to on that within the application and that kind of passion and impact and the story piece, definitely something to highlight. Next, does this project align with at least one of the 5 TDBFF focus areas? Those are, again, outlined on the site, which you can see if you go and learn more within here. We should have it under the missions tab. It's thinking, so you can see all of our focus areas here and a full layout of them. So is this something that speaks to at least one of those? Next, can this project be clearly accomplished within the grant window period? So we are looking for something to be done by the end of 2025. Really, the goal, though, is to see the impact of a project. So not necessarily something that's going to be several years of a project. Again, if we can carve out that smaller piece where there's a start and an end, if it's something like I'm going to be creating bagged lunches for the unhoused community locally, well, that is something where, right, there is a time that this is being done, and then when we are done, we can reflect back on this. So something that can be accomplished, probably a stronger application here would be something where there's not a super long turnaround, really something where we can see that change. Next, does this project feel like it's empowering an everyday change maker? So this is definitely something we want to speak to. We keep referencing the Mr. Rogers find the helpers quote, and I think that really speaks to this here. This doesn't necessarily need to be a big organization or something with a ton of funding or thought out ideas. We want to support people who are doing good and having great ideas. And so, while this might be an organization, it might also just be Sally down the street. And that is wonderful as well. But really, we want to ensure there's some sort of grassroots feeling, whether it is an organization or an individual, and it feels like we're supporting something that wouldn't necessarily be possible without this. Next, does this support individuals and communities who are often overlooked and or under-resourced? This is definitely something that would be a nice to have as well, right? We want to make sure this comes back to the impact question we talked about. And so definitely something to speak to there. And last but not least, does this project have the potential for a lasting or ripple effect beyond the grant period? This part is not necessarily required, but it would be nice to have. So this is something else we will use to evaluate. When we are suggesting how you are filling out your application, definitely highlight the impact, definitely highlight the ability to tell a story. Timeline, is this empowering a change maker? Those are all the things we would recommend you speak to in your application. But of course, our team is here to support. So if you have questions, please reach out, and we cannot wait to see the kind acts that you come up with.